wasn't quite my first American work. Archie Goodwin had okayed a book called Goddess, but it took a long time to come out. It came out, I think, 4 years after my first work on Hellblazer. Hellblazer, Jamie Delano was leaving the book and they needed someone new. And Karen Berger narrowed the list down to myself and 3 or 4 other guys, and then handed over to Stuart Moore, who was the incoming editor. So it was in fact Stuart that gave me my first published American work. John Constantine is a character created by Alan Moore. He's even the description's almost a cliche by now, but he's a trench-coated, chain-smoking, cynical magician who wanders the streets of London. It's hard to say these days which is more jaded, actually, the city or the character, but generally he gets into unpleasant supernatural trouble and solves whatever the problem is, usually at the expense of one or more of his friends' lives. He's not a nice man, but a great character to write. I began working on the book with Will Simpson, who, very good artist, but the wrong artist for that book. More the guy that you would put on a sci-fi book or an action book. About halfway through the run, when Will was getting ready to leave, Steve, who'd done a couple of fill-ins, was ready to come on as regular artist. And around about that time, I think something really just kicked in for me. One suspicion is that it was when I gave up smoking pot, which I believe makes you very lazy. I think it makes you settle for ideas that really aren't up to the mark. You're sort of slightly stoned and you think you've had a great idea, but you know, as anyone who's ever watched people getting stoned but not participated themselves can tell you, it's actually really boring. So quit doing that, sort of gave myself a bit of a mental kick up the arse and started writing better stuff. And the happy coincidence was that Steve was coming on board as the regular artist. Things clicked and we never looked back. I'd say Steve was the best storyteller in the industry. He's got an almost supernatural gift for it. One that I think served him well when he did the storyboards for the 1984 release of Supergirl, which I'm sure he'll love me mentioning, so I'll get that in there. Let's see. He's a superb artist. I first encountered him when I was a kid reading Judge Dredd. He likes to hear that too. He did some classic Dredd stories like Alone in a Crowd and Cry of the Werewolf. Amazing work. It's a treat to work with him. Not only is he an excellent storyteller and just a great draftsman, he also, and this is something I share with a couple of other people, he also has the very useful ability to look into my head and see exactly what I mean. I can write a script for him that will be extremely sparse because I know he will nail it perfectly. I have a strong sense of storytelling too, and I think he picks up on that. He's also a good friend, you know. We've done a lot of work together and we'll work together again in the future, there's no doubt about it.